Let's embark on a journey through time, traveling back 7.7 million years. Imagine a world vastly different from our own, a planet in the throes of geological and climatic upheaval. We're heading to the late Miocene epoch, a pivotal period marked by dramatic transformation across the globe. This was a time when the very face of the Earth was being reshaped. The continents were nearly in their modern positions, a familiar sight from above, but ocean currents and coastlines were very different, creating unique ecosystems and weather patterns unlike anything we see today. The distribution of water played a key role in shaping the climate. North and South America were not yet connected, allowing for free flow of marine life between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. This separation had a profound impact on biodiversity, and the Mediterranean was drying up, leaving behind vast salt flats, a stark and desolate landscape where a sea once thrived. This event dramatically altered the regional climate. The Himalayas were still rising, their towering peaks pushing ever higher into the sky, reshaping weather patterns across Asia, influencing rainfall and temperature across vast distances. The mountains acted as a barrier, creating rain shadows and diverse microclimates. Sea levels were higher, inundating coastal regions and creating shallow seas, flooding areas that are now dry land, transforming the geography and creating new habitats for marine life. The atmosphere held more carbon dioxide, trapping heat and creating a greenhouse effect, making the world warmer and forests more widespread, stretching across continents and providing sustenance for a diverse array of species. Even in places now cold and barren, where trees and vegetation flourished in a climate far milder than today. Permanent ice sheets on Greenland and Antarctica didn't exist yet, meaning sea levels were significantly higher and coastal regions were vastly different. Forests thrived in regions that are now tundra, supporting ecosystems that would be unrecognizable to us today. Supporting a menagerie of now extinct creatures from giant sloths to saber-toothed cats, roaming freely through these verdant landscapes. This was a world on the brink of change, a delicate balance about to be disrupted, as geology and climate set the stage for a cooler, drier planet, a shift that would reshape ecosystems and drive evolution. The Miocene's warm, wet world was fading, its lush landscape slowly giving way to more arid conditions, and a new era was about to begin, bringing with it new challenges and opportunities for life on Earth. These changes would impact every living thing, forcing adaptation and driving some species to extinction, from insects to mammals, each playing a role in the intricate web of life that was about to be tested. In this dynamic environment, where change was the only constant, the first hints of our own human story began to emerge as our ancestors adapted and evolved in response to the shifting world around them. 7.7 million years ago, our planet was a very different place. Earth was significantly warmer and far lusher than what we see today. The global average temperature was noticeably higher, creating a more humid and verdant environment. Temperate forests, teeming with life, reached much closer to the poles than they do now, extending into regions that are currently characterized by colder climates. And the tropical zones, vibrant and teeming with biodiversity, spanned a much wider area across the globe. These expansive tropical regions fostered an incredible array of plant and animal life. This pervasive warmth fostered immense biodiversity, supporting a vast network of interconnected ecosystems. Life flourished in abundance, with species evolving and adapting in a relatively stable climate. But even in this seemingly idyllic world, a slow cooling trend had already begun. A subtle shift that would eventually reshape the face of the planet. Mountain ranges like the majestic Himalayas and the towering Andes rose ever higher, their growth influencing weather patterns across continents. These geological changes altered rainfall patterns, leading to the drying out of vast regions and the expansion of arid landscapes. Subtle shifts in Earth's orbit around the sun, coupled with a gradual decline in atmospheric carbon dioxide levels, nudged the planet inexorably toward cooler, drier conditions, setting in motion a cascade of ecological changes. As a result, tropical forests began to shrink and become fragmented, their once continuous expanse broken up by emerging grasslands. These forests were gradually replaced by open habitats and expansive grasslands, creating new ecological niches. The world was rapidly transforming, becoming a mosaic of new and diverse landscapes, each with its own unique characteristics. These changes brought with them less rainfall overall and more pronounced seasons with distinct wet and dry periods. Plants and animals, accustomed to a stable environment, now faced new and unprecedented pressures. Food and water were no longer guaranteed year-round, forcing species to adapt or perish. Survival now required migration to follow resources, hibernation to endure harsh conditions, or evolving to eat tougher foods that could withstand the changing climate. Seasonality became a powerful engine of evolution, driving rapid adaptation and diversification. This period rewarded adaptability above all else, favoring those species that could quickly adjust to the new environmental realities. The gentle, stable climate that had characterized the previous era was gone, replaced by something far more dynamic and unpredictable. It was replaced by extremes that drove change, pushing life to its limits and fostering innovation. This dramatic period of transition set the stage for the emergence of new life forms, including our own ancestors, who would ultimately inherit this transformed world. The late Miocene epoch witnessed a dramatic transformation of the Earth's landscapes. Grasslands, once a minor component of the global ecosystem, began to explode across the globe, marking a pivotal moment in evolutionary history. These burgeoning grasslands advanced relentlessly, replacing retreating forests and fundamentally altering the balance of plant life. The forests, which had dominated the landscape for millennia, gradually gave way to the open expanse of the savanna. These wild savannas, dotted with drought-resistant trees like the iconic acacia, became a defining feature of the new landscape. These trees, adapted to survive with minimal water, stood as solitary sentinels in a sea of grass. These vast, untamed expanses were nothing like the manicured modern lawns we know today. They were wild, diverse, and teeming with life. Grasses evolved a revolutionary adaptation, C4 photosynthesis. This new form of photosynthesis allowed them to thrive in hot, dry, sunny conditions where trees struggled to survive. The intense sunlight, which would have been a burden for many plants, became a source of energy for these resilient grasses. Their dense, intricate root systems stabilized the soil, preventing erosion and creating a foundation for a thriving ecosystem. These root systems also allowed for rapid regrowth after grazing or fire, ensuring the grass's continued dominance. Fire, a common occurrence in these environments, became a tool for renewal, clearing away old growth and stimulating new shoots. The open grasslands created a whole host of new opportunities and challenges for the animal kingdom. With fewer places to hide from predators, the rules of survival changed drastically. Speed and vigilance became crucial for survival, favoring those who could outrun their pursuers or spot danger from afar. Keen senses and quick reflexes were now essential for navigating this open world. Herbivores faced a new challenge. Grass is tough, containing silica, and quickly wears down teeth. Only those with specialized high-crowned teeth capable of withstanding constant abrasion could thrive on this abrasive diet. This dental adaptation became a key to success in the grassland ecosystem. The rise of grasslands demanded a cascade of new behaviors and physical adaptations across the animal kingdom. Predators and prey alike had to adapt to the new realities of the open savanna. They were forced to evolve to survive in a world of open vistas and long, relentless chases. The spread of grass unlocked a vast new food source, a veritable buffet for those who could exploit it efficiently. This fundamental shift reshaped entire ecosystems, creating new ecological niches and driving species diversification. It was a catalyst, driving evolutionary innovation and pushing life in new and unexpected directions. The grasslands became the crucible, a testing ground where only the most adaptable could survive and thrive. It was here, in this dynamic and challenging environment, that the stage was set for the next chapter in animal and ultimately human evolution. The late Miocene was the golden age of mammals, with giants roaming the land. Elephant-like gomphotheres, giant rhinos, and bizarre chalicotheres shaped the landscape. These massive herbivores bulldozed paths and transformed their environment. Alongside them, formidable predators like bear dogs and saber-toothed cats hunted the plains. Bear dogs, blending features of bears and canines, were top hunters before modern big cats rose to dominance. The diversity and size of these animals were unmatched, creating a dynamic web of life. Epic hunts and fierce competition defined the era. The fossil record reveals a world teeming with megafauna, far wilder than today. Into this world of giants, our distant ancestors began their journey. The stage was set for the rise of a new kind of mammal, one that would eventually change the world. The Miocene's giants left a legacy that echoes in today's ecosystems. While giants ruled the ground, a different story unfolded in the trees. The late Miocene forests teemed with diverse primates, including the ancestors of today's monkeys and apes. Dryopithecus, a widespread ape, was a master of swinging through the branches. These fruit eaters navigated a complex three-dimensional world, relying on intelligence and social cooperation. Ape diversity peaked, with fossils found from Spain to China, some large, some small, each adapted to unique niches. But as forests fragmented, apes faced new challenges. The continuous canopy broke apart, isolating populations and exposing them to predators. Some apes retreated with the shrinking forests, others vanished. One lineage, however, began to adapt to the open world beyond the trees. This turning point would set the stage for the evolution of hominins. The changing landscape forced primates to innovate or disappear. Amid shrinking forests and expanding savannas, our lineage began to diverge. Around 7.7 million years ago, the ancestors of chimpanzees split from those that would become us, hominins. Fossil evidence is scarce, but Sahelanthropus decadensys hints at early bipedalism. The forward position of its skull opening suggests it could walk upright, at least part-time. Bipedalism freed the hands and offered advantages in a changing world, carrying food, seeing over tall grass, and keeping cool. This adaptation was gradual, a response to fragmented habitats and new survival pressures. Early hominins were small, vulnerable, and opportunistic, eating whatever they could find. They weren't hunters or tool makers yet, just apes taking their first steps into a new world. But those steps would change the course of evolution forever. Life for early hominins was a daily fight for survival. Small groups moved through a patchwork of woodland and savanna, always searching for food and water. Their diet was varied: fruits, leaves, roots, seeds, and insects, whatever the environment offered. Bipedal hands were essential for digging, carrying, and foraging. Predators were everywhere: bear dogs, saber-toothed cats, hyenas, crocodiles, and giant birds. Safety depended on vigilance and cooperation. Group living meant more eyes to spot danger. Social bonds were vital, not just for companionship but for survival. Nights were spent in trees or on cliffs, safe from nocturnal hunters. Every day was a cycle of risk and reward, with no room for long-term planning. Yet within this struggle, adaptability and intelligence began to take root. The seeds of our own nature were sown in these ancient challenges. The late Miocene was a crucible of evolutionary change. Cooling climates and spreading grasslands forced species to adapt or vanish. Herbivores evolved tougher teeth to handle abrasive grasses, while those that couldn't faded away. Predators shifted from ambush to pursuit, evolving for speed and endurance. The arms race between predator and prey drove rapid innovation. For hominins, fragmented landscapes spurred the evolution of bipedalism, a risky but game-changing adaptation. The harshest times produced the greatest evolutionary leaps. The instability of the late Miocene set the stage for our own remarkable lineage. Evolution's most profound breakthroughs often arise from adversity. The world of 7.7 million years ago shaped the planet we know today. The Miocene's cooling and drying set the stage for the ice ages and the modern world map. Grasses began their global conquest, feeding animals and eventually us. Many modern animal groups trace their roots to this era of change. Most profoundly, the pressures of the Miocene forged our own lineage. Bipedalism and adaptability set humans on a unique evolutionary path. Our story is one of resilience and adaptation, born from ancient challenges. We are products of the same forces that shaped the grasslands, the giants, and the first hominins.